Hey guys, welcome back. John here. Today we're going to do something really quick. I've got an upcoming children's class that I'm going to be teaching this watercolor painting at, and I thought it would be fun if I put it up here on YouTube as well. And so today we are making a fun little abstract Christmas tree. This is a great simple painting if you wanted to give a little gift to a family member, or if you wanted to show this to your kids and try to get them to follow along. It's really easy. If you're nervous about trying watercolors, this is a very easy place to start. And as you can see, I'm using a pretty cheap set of watercolor paints for this, and it'll still give me a nice looking effect at the end. So the first thing we're doing here is we're getting in a basic tree shape. I'm not too concerned about the saturation of my paint right now. As you can see, I can go back in while it's still wet and add more color. Right now I'm looking more for the shape. And in order to make it so it's easier to see, I had to add a little bit more color here. But you'll see that I'm mixing in a few colors, my green, my yellow, maybe some of my brown, some of my blue. I'm just looking to get, I don't want it to be boring, so I want to get a handful of colors splattered throughout here. Right now I'm going to mix a little darker green, and that's going to be for some of the shadows of my tree. And I'm also going to use this darker green for a stem. Or the trunk of the tree, and a little bit of shadow underneath it. You'll see me do that right now. Nothing too complicated, I just want some shadow looking shapes underneath it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a star in here. I'm just going to do a basic star shape, and I'm going to fill that in with mostly yellow, but I'm also going to add a little bit of orange to it as well, just so that it's not one solid color. This yellow is kind of tinted green because I've used it a bunch, but that's not the end of the world. Just adding a little bit more details into here. I'm going to come back in with a pen later as well and do some detailing. And so I'm not going too crazy right now. And so now in this palette, my black is very green of a color when you try to use it. And so I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I can use it for more shadow colors on my tree. So you'll see me in here adding some shadow areas. Nothing too particular. I'm just kind of roughing in some shapes just so that I have some kind of shadows going on. Just some kind of variation is really what I want. So now we're going to let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to get to the fun part. Okay, here we are to the fun part. I'm going to load my brush up with some green paint to start. And we're going to go ahead and bang, big splatters of paint on our paper here. I want to give it some life to this painting. And so I'm also going to come in with like a red as well. And we're going to use it to our advantage to get some intrigue going on. And then it'll also kind of inform us on where some of our ornaments are going to go on the tree as well. So you see me mixing a nice red, and bang, more red on this guy. And so now I'm letting some of that splatter inform me of where I want to put some of my ornaments, just doing some little circles in here. And while the paint is still wet, these guys are going to kind of soften out a little, but that's okay. They're going to get a little bigger, and it's going to make it easier for me later when I come back in with the pen. I felt like darkening up the trunk down there, so I added just a little more blue. And we're going to let this dry a little, and then we're going to come in with a pen to do some detailing. Here we go with the detailing. I should have let this dry a little longer. Right now it's okay, but when I get toward the bottom in the middle of the tree, there's not really enough time to let it dry. And so my pen has some trouble writing on some of these areas, which can be easily fixed when I teach this class by making everybody wait till their paintings are dry. But I'm always in such a rush when I do these things alone by myself. So you see, I'm just kind of adding some marks in here. I'm not being very particular with how I'm making them. I'm just kind of following what the paint is informing me. And it's just more to give it a little bit more definition on the edges. You could get away with not doing this at all. I just like the way that it looks with some pen. So I went ahead and signed it here, and while I was signing it, I realized that I wanted to do a little bit more work to it. And so I'm going to come back in and do a little bit more. I'm going to go around these ornaments, and you see some of these ones are still a little wet, so the pen doesn't want to draw. Once again, let the painting dry before you do any of this. But I did let it dry and fix all of these at the end, and so when we get to the glamour shots at the end, you will see that I came through and I relined these things and added some brighter white highlights to the ornaments just to make it a little nicer. So we're getting to the end here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, ring the bell, all the YouTube stuff, leave a comment. Today's secret comment is going to be the word Christmas tree. I guess it's pretty simple, but thank you so much once again for watching, and we'll get to the final look, and I'll see you guys in the next one.